If there is one commander people are absolutely going nuts for out of Aetherdrift, it is Ketramose, the new Dawn. And it makes sense. I mean, it's like a draw engine in your command zone, but can we tune it up to be absolutely as strong as the most powerful Brawl decks that are on Arena right now? Well, I've been poring over the list. I've actually kind of spent a couple weeks on this, probably spent too much time on this, going over, refining, and trying to make the strongest possible Ketramose deck that I could. Let's take a look. Welcome to the Attic. ManaDad here. It's the channel where we explore what's fun in Magic, mostly on Arena. Okay, I got that out. Ketramose, the new Dawn. If you don't know it, Menace Lifelink, indestructible, can't attack or block unless there are 7 or more cards in exile. Okay, that seems like a huge drawback, but more text. Whenever 1 or more cards are put into exile from graveyards and or the battlefield during your turn, you draw a card and lose 1 life. Okay. You probably know it. You've probably seen it. It is the most popular Brawl commander currently as I record this, and for good reason. But we want to build the best, the strongest Ketramose deck possible. So I've been going through, if you don't know, there is a competitive Brawl Discord. I will try to leave a link in the description. So I looked at lists by ManaDad Joe, Liz, and who else? Is it Mudman? Who else was I looked at a bunch of lists on there. Get on there, go to the dual color commanders, go to find Ketramose, go read the discussions. A lot of discussions about, you know, certain particular cards and how good they are in the deck. This is my version based on those. So what am I doing with this version? Okay. We want to probably try to cast Ketramose on turn 4 or later, and that's so we can get value out of Ketramose immediately. Now, if we're just exiling like crazy and then get Ketramose down, okay, but we want to be able to cast Ketramose with some of these cards in hand that are going to exile from the battlefield or graveyard so we can draw and start refilling our hand and just become unstoppable. So we have a number of ways to exile. We have mana that can exile. We have removal spells that can exile from the battlefield here. Fragment Reality, Path to Exile, Portable Hole, Swords to Plowshares. We have regular removal, just to be competitive. We have Graveyard Exile, like Cling to Dust, and I don't know where, Reanimate. No, that doesn't exile. Surgical Extraction. Lots and lots of fun ways just at the 1-drop slot here to do nasty stuff. We're also going to try to use discard, like let me find it. Thoughtseize, Mind Spike, Inquisition of Kozilek. There's some that 2 here. Undercity Plunder is an alchemy card. You might not be familiar with that one, so I'll pause on that for a second. So we do have some amount of discard. We're going to knock our opponent's best cards out of their hand. Then they're sitting in their graveyard for us to exile. So we have stuff like Ghost Vacuum, Relic of Progenitus, Scrabbling Claws, even Lord Skidder and Graveyard Trespasser, just giving us 1 card exiled from the graveyard at a time. Not necessarily per turn, because if we get a bunch of these, if we get Ketramose down, we're tapping 3 of these, we're drawing 3 cards, and we're having a great time. So, lots and lots of removal, but we also have some fun stuff in here. Philia Exuberant Shepherd can blink stuff, most notably Skyclave Apparition, just incredibly annoying if it's blinked over and over and over again. Sheltered by Ghosts can be fun to put on Ketramose. Of course, it exiles a non-land permanent an opponent controls for just 2 mana, which is great. The enchanted creature gets +1/+0 lifelink and ward. Well, Ketramose already has lifelink, but Ketramose is indestructible. So how about ward 2 plus indestructible on Ketramose? That's going to make it really hard for opponents to remove. We have Thraben Charm, which can destroy enchantments. It can remove creatures, but it can also, at instant speed, remove an entire graveyard. Now, if somebody gets a big graveyard and you remove it all in one go, then your Ketramose is turned on as a Menace lifelink indestructible creature. That's why we also have delve cards like Murderous Cut in the graveyard. If we have some things that can go to the graveyard, like Timeless Dragon, can be a little bit of land fixing, but we can also exile it from our graveyard to make it into a threat later in the game. Of course, we're going to have to run Grief. And where is it? Oh, yes. Solitude. The evoke elementals at the 2-drop slot. What do we got? We got Juggernaut Peddler. This is another one that you might not know, although it is very common in competitive Brawl circles. It's a 2/2 vigilance for 2. When it enters, target player reveals all non-land cards in their hand. You get your pick of those. And then when you do, they switch that out for the card Juggernaut, which is a favorite card of mine, but has been a little bit outpaced. It's a 5/3. Can't be blocked by walls. Other than that, some other tech that's maybe a little bit new that you haven't seen on other lists, Wither and Bloom. This is just a nice instant speed removal for a small creature, or it can be a combat trick with the -3/-3, and also gets around indestructible, possibly. Doesn't get Ketramose, unfortunately. But then once it's in your graveyard, you can exile it, draw that card, get another card out of it. Tiny Bones is kind of like makes... Because when an opponent discards a card, then they exile it from their graveyard with a stash counter on it. So you're going to get that trigger with Ketramose, and then you're also going to be able to play that card. This is just kind of a nasty thing to put in with all the discard that we've got going on. Feed the Cycle. Forage lets you exile cards from your graveyard. So again, another Ketramose trigger, even as you are removing a creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. Emperor of Bones apparently is busted in this deck. We'll hopefully get it out in the games and you'll see it in action. Beginning of combat on your turn, you exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. So it's the Lord Skidder ability, but for only 2 mana. And then you can adapt it. And when you do, you can put a creature card exiled with this creature onto the battlefield under your control with a finality counter on it. It gains haste and you have to sacrifice it at the next end step. Okay, I won't go through every single card, but the deck list will be in the description. You can go through if you have questions, leave them in the comments. I think you probably will want to see this deck in action, see how it does. I'm almost certain we're going to get matched up in a mirror match against another Ketramose deck, so that'll be the real test. If the Brawl queues right now are thick with Ketramose decks, when they play each other, who has the most efficient, best deck, best version of the deck? That's what we're going to put to the test today. Hope you enjoy it and stick around to the end. I'll be back with a wrap-up where I talk about the actual win rate of the deck, not just the games I was able to fit into the video.
Hey, it's me, Overlord of the Hauntwoods. Actually, haunting and overlording are just my hobbies. My day job is managing the YouTube algorithm. I try to make sure lots of negative, conspiracy-laden clickbait shows up in your feed. You know, nightmare fuel. Whatever you do, don't like, comment, or elder gods forbid, subscribe to a channel like this one, okay? We don't need your feed filled up with people who genuinely enjoy playing Magic like this so-called ManaDad. He puts deck lists and other useful links in the description. He even shows real win rate stats at the end of the videos. Yikes. Clicking on positive, helpful videos takes away from the time I could be spending haunting woods or putting my friend Writhing Chrysalis into draft boosters. But you don't have to take it from me. 9 out of 10 players who want to unban Grief agree. Now let's see. What is your racist uncle clicking on today? He has impeccable taste. Let me send some of those videos your way.
Up against Joda. Which Joda? Joda the Unifier. Legendary Tribal. Keep this. We've got Senor Bones. Question is whether we play this tapped. It's going to give us the white mana. We don't necessarily need to. But what are you up to, Jonah? Jonah? Jonah and the Whale?
I do not have time for this. I do not have time for you.
Fabled Passage cracks it. Finds a green source, maybe? Always make sure you got green in these kind of decks. Okay. Well, let's... the Emperor Bones going. I'll submit 0. Save it for when Ketramose is out. Jimmy Bones. He's all bones except for he's got a beard. Weird beard. Now I will exile that from the graveyard. Thank you very much. Card velocity achieved. Ornithopter of Paradise, Evolving Wisp. Let's see. Your opponent reveals each non-creature, non-land card. You choose a card revealed that way. Oh, okay. So they've all got their hand is land and creatures. We learned. Let's get the Ornithopter of Paradise out of here. I get the Soul Cauldron it. Don't have any creature cards exiled with Emperor Bones though, huh? Okay. Even our graveyard. No creatures, not yet. We have an instant speed path to exile available. Something like Nissa Resurgent Animist. System update coming. Should take a break from recording. Prismatic. We get the Rishka. They can cast the Rishkar. So you cast the Rishkar. They cast the Ramanap. Okay. Okay, Skyclave is nice. We're gonna have to use Ketramose as a mana dork. What? Opponent didn't want to face. You know, they saw that system update was happening in 10 minutes, and they just said, "You know what, ManaDad, you can have this game." Okay. Is this a keepable hand? I think so. Going first. Go fetch Surveil Land, or we could hold up Swords to Plowshares. Actually, let's see. This is going to be a tap land since we're going first. It's going to be a tap land, so let's just do that. Relic of Progenitus seems good. Magda, the Horde Master. Opponent gambles. Maybe for a land? What would you gamble for on turn 1? What they have to discard? Invasion of Tarkir. Well, probably didn't gamble for that. I declare. Yeah, we'll just go find a surveil land. Blood Chief's Thirst. Well, I think that hits Magda. Yeah. Leave that on top. We do need to start getting lands. But now this is something that we can have out when Ketramose hits the board next turn. Or plays Mountain. Goblin Engineer. They can put an artifact card into the graveyard. We can eat it with the relic, so careful what you choose, opponent. Oh, I guess we can't quite with their choice, so. They didn't care about it. They saw that line. Argument Reality might work nicely on the Engineer, depending on how many 1-drops they've got in their deck. Whenever you commit crime, create a tapped treasure token. You can sacrifice 3 treasures to create a 4/4 red Scorpion Dragon creature token with flying and haste. Activate only as a sorcery. Olo, Lelia. Do I want a second black source? I probably will. Taking a lot of damage. Eh. Alright, do we risk the Engineer? Turning it into something else? Can always Blood Chief's Thirst or Swords to Plowshares it. Oh, Ragavan. Jeez. Okay. It's an ever-changing world in which we live in. We're 1 away from turning on Ketramose after this. The Exile Ragavan. What are you going to do against a 4/4 Menace Lifelink Indestructible, Mr. Mono Red? Ostrich Farm. That is your real name. Magda, the Horde Master. This looks like a cool commander. Now, Magda is thinking.
You know what a hurry we're in!
Salty didn't like it much.
I don't suppose you could have split things up.
We had the luck. We had the Ketramose luck. There was nothing they could. Switching to my Bolas hat. Because we're not the good guy with this deck. Up against Flubs the Fool. Let's see. So, let's Thought Sneeze old Flubsy. I wonder actually if we're supposed to save that with, So we could take their Chrome Mox. Duelist of the Mind. Anything that lets them play extra lands, I think, is... These are all fun cards. I guess we'll just take their 2-drop, so... They can go Chrome Mox. They can't play Anything yet this turn. Exiling what? They exile the Iron Crag. No, they can't play. They can play Zeus's Many Journeys. Read the cards, ManaDad. Read the cards. Cavern of Souls on God. Let's just crack this. Let's crack it now. We'll get the old Godless Shrine. Pay 2 life. Here, that up against flubs. So this is 05. You may play an additional land on each of your turns. Whenever you play a land or cast a spell, draw a card if you have no cards in hand. They got a nice little flub start. Can't get any removal here. It's kind of annoying. Let's name not dog, but God. And let's see. Exile target non-land permanent amount of value less 3 or less than opponent controls. We could take out the Chrome Mox. We could take out this. Back their land. Oh yeah, so now if they discard, they have to discard a card. We're going to get all the cards they're discarding with Tiny Bones. Right? Or no? Yeah, we do. Haha. Free land. How about that? I like them apples. I think we can attack, right? Could very easily go off this turn. Next to Tiny Bones, we're going to be getting a lot of good stuff. This might be one of their win conditions to Fairy's Tutelage. Made a treasure. Paradise. Popping off. Okay. That's hopefully it. Oh no, they can untap all their lands. No. Okay. Guess we'll grief them. We'll take the Cold Steel Heart. Thank you very much. Get Anoint with Affliction, but that is not helpful. We'll attack for 2. Probable Alliance. Draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards. So give us 2 more cards, please. This Flubs deck doesn't look like it has a ton of interaction. They're giving us lands. That's building up Ketramose. I mean, it's gonna take a while to mill us out. We're at 66 cards. I guess should I chump this guy? We're at 13. Oh no, when it becomes blocked, you untap. Oops. That one is when it hits. Okay. Face Reawaken, sure. Continuing to go off. Faithless Loot again. Spell Bomb. Spell Bomb could be annoying for us. Well, we got plenty of fuel for a dredge card, that's for sure. Question is, does their deck do anything if they don't have flubs on the battlefield? Wonder. Didn't want to give us that arcane signet. Well, you did, opponent. Now Ketramose is turned on. The turn finally over. Ooh, okay. Is the Teferi's tutelage helping us? Wonder. Captivating Crossroads. Black. Okay, so what is this Jace? Draw and discard. I think we might just want to blow up the Teferi's tutelage. Then we can exile something at some point. Let's attack Jace.
Won't ruin my plans.
Should we just exile Flubs? It's not going to slow him down very much. Maybe we Maybe we hit loot. Giving them the extra land drop. Yeah, let's hit loot now. We did get a flashback card. That's annoying. Astral Cornucopia. Oh, there's Brewvac. Definitely a Flub's Mill deck. That's kind of fun. Kind of hoping for a board wipe here, honestly. Did they already remove all our board wipes? Let's see. Not yet. If they're thinking about bouncing something. Nope, they don't. Brave Expectations. We'll just do the graveyard thing, right? If we need the life. Pick up the flashback card. What are we most worried about? Tireless Provisioner? Is that the next target? Am I better off doing the Elvish Mystic Ghost Vacuum thing, I guess? I think the Soul Cauldron might be cool. We'll attack the Jace. They'll probably just chump with the fairy, but so it goes. All right, they have 3 cards in hand. Cyclonic Rift. Blackblade Reforged. Oh, that could be lethal. Okay. Good game. They flubsed us. You just got flubsed. There you go. If it looks like I'm wearing a different outfit, that's because I am. It's a new day. I ended up stopping the recording yesterday to go record a bunch of games with my brother. An alchemy draft of all things. We had a good time. Mythweaver Poke. Anybody else sick of this guy? The second most popular commander after Ketramose. So, Mythweaver, we need stuff that's going to remove creatures early, which we have. Maybe would have liked a third land, but I think we can keep this. Well, of course they go first. Why wouldn't they? Let's see, what's better? Artifact or creature card? Yeah, I guess we'll take one of their mana dorks. Oh, yeah. We'll play Azusa, though. I guess we'll feed the cycle on Azusa, or anoint it with Affliction. Nope, they just want to make a food token? Very well. Can't ramp without your... They're falling asleep. How dare a Mythweaver Poke player fall asleep on me? There's a hole in my plan? Okay. Well, maybe there's a hole in your plan. Just gonna anoint that with Affliction. And Mind Spike out their protection spell, but I think it's just in position of Kozilek. That hits it as well. So they got Vaultborn Tyrant. Here comes Poke. Nope. Oracle Modiah. And we can forage, right? Do we have enough? You're getting muted. Exile 3 cards from the graveyard. Shadowy Backstreet. Backstreet's back. Alright. Do we want tap land? Guess it's fine. We'll play Teza. If I play this and take out you, but I could attack. Now we're talking. Cycle. Instant speed, so we can instant speed hit Poke. We so choose. Where do we get Teza going? Kind of want to see with Teza in action. All right, anybody who wants to see a salty Poke player? Oh, there's salty timeouting.
You know what a hurry we're in!
Salty didn't like it much.
I do not suppose you could have spit things up.
Salty?
Rub. Do it! Salty, rub. I am only waiting around to kill you.
I do not have time for this. I do not have time for you.
What are the things? Green?
It's not that easy being green. Having to spend each day the color of the leaves.
Oh my God, Becky, look at her butt.
Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake that healthy butt. Baby got back. Baby got back.
Teza of the Ghost Council. Oh, we're open again. What do you guys think? Do you like it when I play the games where opponents get salty? I mean, it happens a lot of times in Brawl. Cultivates. Right, they haven't given up. They're going to be able to Vaultborn Tyrant next turn. Go nuts. Basically need 2 removal spells to deal with this. Maybe an exile spell, actually. Exile would deal with this, right? Because it's a dice trigger. Yeah. Okay. We're equipped for it. Salty rope. Maybe I hit the wrong key.
You know what a hurry we're in.
Salty didn't like it much.
I do not suppose you could have split things up.
Salty?
Rub.
Do it! Salty. I am only waiting around to kill you.
Hawk player, why are you still playing? At this point. Salty puck. Kruta of the Guard. And let's just make it extra obvious that we can remove whatever they play. There's the Tyrant. And then they scoop? Okay. Okay. Up against Sorin of House Markov with Luris of the Dream Den Companion. We would like I guess surgical extraction could be good against that, and unlicensed hearse. I think this is a keeper. Again, would like more lands, but let's get the Backstreet. It's like I have to sing Backstreet's Back All Right every time I fetch that. Here we got to reanimate, so if they do dump something good in their yard, we can bring it back. That sounds good. Argent Dias, the Dauntless Bodyguard. I really need a land off the top here. Sorin of House Markov.
A proper noble requires a proper feast.
Huh. Okay, there's the land. Do we think that we just Ketramose here, or because we got surgical extraction if they want to try to get fancy with Luris, and they got to buy Luris anyway. Yeah, we'll just Ketramose now, and surgical extraction because we want to draw the card. What's in their hand? Got Fatal Push, Chthonian Nightmare, and Banalish Sleeper. So I guess because we had Chthonian Nightmare, we're glad. The Banalish Sleeper, they can actually kick it and get rid of our Ketramose. So that stinks, but... Oops. Did we not actually select the card? Oops. They gained 3 life. Ossification. Ossify and go find a plains. Ketramose next turn. Gorehound. 13. And pass it. Or it didn't do anything with that 3 mana. They really wanted that Gorehound down instead of the Markov, huh? Fatal push. Free attacks. They can only attack for 2. Can we get to... Ooh, Urborg, well, helps opponent, but that's okay. Exile this. And then... got their graveyard. Emperor Bones will trigger. They GG'd it. That's how we do with the Ketramose. Okay, here you see it. 75% win rate, 67% on the play, 100% on the draw. I think the win rate is representative of this deck based on my testing, but I think probably you'd rather be on the play. I don't know. We had a 1 loss to Mythweaver Buck, and we lost to Flubs the Fool, but otherwise just pretty much dominated. You get a lot of scoops with this deck, and yeah, just under an hour for those 8 games. 75% win rate. Is this fully optimized yet? I think there's still room to optimize. Obviously, the new Aetherdrift Alchemy cards could be considered. There might be something in there. There's some pretty good white and black cards, but none off the top of my head I think fit into this deck perfectly. But you could leave a comment if you know of the other cards that just got added to the format. But otherwise, I think this is pretty tight. Pretty hard for opponents to deal with. You're just disrupting their hand. You're playing out super value creatures. You've got scads and scads of removal. You've got a very optimized mana base with lots of fetch lands that go into the graveyard, so you can use them to eat and draw cards. So yes, is Ketramose the most busted commander? I don't know. There's a lot of really busted commanders, but it's got to be up there. I think it's probably going to get put in the hell queue if it hasn't been already. And that's about all I have to say about that. Leave your comments about Ketramose down below. And with that, this is ManaDad reminding you magic is a game so fun, even dads can enjoy it. Adios.